What is up, you guys? 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 And welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. What is up, you guys? And welcome back to my channel. Today we are reviewing a very special BUFFBUNNY collection because it is the Locked In collection that is in collaboration with your girl. We have been working on this collection for 3 freaking years. 3 years. And to finally be able to talk about it out loud with the other athletes, affiliates, and now with you guys, it does not feel real. It does not feel correct. I feel like I am revealing something that I shouldn't be, but it is finally time. If you guys want more about behind the collaboration, I did do a specific video just more about the process and more about the just like evolution of this idea. I'll mention a little bit of it in today's video as well, but I'll try to keep that more for that video and focus this one more on the try on and review of the actual pieces themselves. But I cannot believe that this video is finally being filmed and it is going to be out in the world. I have dreamt about this day for so long as we've been doing this behind the scenes, and I just can't believe that this video right here is for my collaboration with BUFFBUNNY collection. Like the way that those words are even coming out of my mouth right now, it still doesn't feel real to me, and it's just like, what the heck? What? So if you guys want to know the full details on the Locked In collection in collaboration with myself and BUFFBUNNY collection, then just keep watching. If this is your first time coming across my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Gabrielle, but you can call me Gabs. I am a BUFFBUNNY collection exclusive athlete. I have been with them for 8 years. So it's safe to say that I know a thing or two about this company and about the pieces, and I'm very well known for my in-depth reviews. They usually are about an hour or so. There's never been one that's been less than, I think, 50 minutes. And it's just because I like to give you all the details, all the notes, all the things that you need to know before you spend your hard-earned money on any of these pieces, if these pieces speak to you. So if you guys want to know all the details, all the try-on and reviews for especially the bigger titty committee, the BTC, I am self-elected president of BTC, and so I definitely help a lot of those in the bigger bust community, but also a lot of you guys have given me feedback that I've been helpful even if we're opposite bodies and stuff like that. And it's just because of all the details and thoroughness that I give you guys in my videos alongside my free PDF. Yes, I include a free over 100-page PDF in all of my try on reviews because that's where I put more measurements, more close-up photos, more details, more extra notes, and kind of like a summary of some high-level notes as well. They've always worked so well in conjunction to my videos, and they're also created in a way to follow along the PDF with my videos. So I do recommend that you pause this video, download the free PDF down below, and then follow along through the video to make notes of anything that you want to note as you think about all the pieces that you want to shop and buy, and then to just see some other, like I said, close-up photos and details that I provide in the PDF so that this video isn't 10 times longer than it already is. Not only that, if you guys do want to shop BUFFBUNNY collection, you guys can save an additional 10% off by using the code GABS at checkout. This is absolutely optional, but if you guys choose to use my code out of all the different codes that are out there with all the other athletes and affiliates, please let me know so I can say thank you. And if you guys do shop this collection specifically, it will be just a little extra special because without you guys, without my brother behind the camera, without my friends and family support, without the company, Heidi, everybody that is involved in making this happen, this is just going to be your guys' special way of saying thanks for keeping Gabs around. Thanks for making this collab happen. And it's also my way to just say thank you personally, even just more so than I normally do, because again, supporting not only myself with this code, but supporting my collaboration means so much to me because it has been a lot of love, a lot of tears, a lot of frustrations, a lot of joy, a lot of great experience, just so many different emotions putting this together. And so using code GABS for this launch specifically will just be a little bit extra special for me and everyone that is behind the scenes in making this happen. So if you guys choose to do that, please let me know via Instagram. Instagram is also where I share a couple more details as I wear the pieces more and as other things come up. It's inevitable that more thoughts of mine come up just throughout the week from when this is posted to the actual launch day. So just keep up with me on Instagram for any updates. I'll have an Instagram highlight there as well. And I will be doing some giveaways, of course, because hello, why wouldn't I when it is my collaboration? So just again, another way for me to say thank you for making this happen, you guys, because truly, 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 without you guys, I would not be part of this team still, and then this collaboration would have never, ever happened. So without you guys, this wouldn't be here. So I just want to find a way to say thank you in any way that I can. All right, that is all the housekeeping that I have for you guys. Let's dive in to the Locked In collection. The Locked In collection will be launching on March 28th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. For those who have never shopped BUFFBUNNY collection, they are a launch-based company for the most part. And so a lot of things will sell out. A lot of things will be limited edition. For example, the ROSA jackets, the leopard print, the vineyard dark red, I don't know if those are coming back again. So certain things like that where it is very unique to the collaboration, sometimes we see it come back, sometimes we see it come back in another iteration. So if there's anything that you guys are eyeing, especially because this is a collaboration capsule, then I do very much recommend that you guys do shop this collection ASAP at launch time so you guys don't miss out on any of the pieces, colors, anything like that, because we just never know when they're going to be back. So 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday, March 28th is going to be the special, special day that brings this all together. So the Locked In collection is something that is very near and dear to my heart because I feel like it really does represent just the evolution of myself through my fitness journey, through life, through the 8 years of me being a BUFFBUNNY collection athlete. And so having the name called Locked In really meant a lot to me because I truly feel like through all the different seasons of life, I have stayed locked in various different ways. It may not have always been my fitness journey per se, but we have always stayed locked in and staying focused on the bigger picture and not letting all the things in between kind of get in the way. There is so much meaning to it, and it's so special to me that we were able to kind of tie in, again, more of not just my fitness life, but my personal life into the meaning behind this collection. The marketing campaign itself that came out really does encapsulate everything that I wanted this collection to represent. Being locked in isn't about chasing a finish line. It's about holding steady when life pulls you off course. Because strength isn't only built in training. It's the tiny little decisions that add up to an unstoppable momentum where every single action adds up to building a life you believe in. Habits built on repetition. From dawn to dusk and everything in between. This is power. This is Locked In. I talked about this a little bit more in the behind the collaboration video that I did post as well. And it just really mirrored what it's like to just navigate the different seasons in life, the ups, the downs, the detours and all that. And so I really wanted this collection to like really embody that. And I feel like we really did, not just through the pieces, but also again, through the messaging of the campaign itself. And again, I really wanted to just represent my fitness journey, my personal life, and also my journey with BUFFBUNNY collection through the messaging of this campaign. And I think we really, really nailed that. So again, huge shout out to the marketing team for executing on that vision, because I was like, I don't want this to just be about fitness. I don't want this to be just about activewear. I want this to really get to the root of a lot of the things that we navigate in life with what was the plan versus what didn't end up being the plan, but also all the different things that get thrown our way as well. And so Locked In just means so much to me on so many different ways outside of just being the capsule's name. Not only that, I really, really, really wanted to kind of tie in my journey with the company as well. So, bringing back some colors and some pieces that we haven't seen in a hot minute. And for those who have been around for a hot minute will recognize some of these things. So that was really exciting to bring some of that back. It was also very exciting to bring some BTC versions of pieces that have done really well for other cup sizes and just in general for the company, but have that stamp of approval of being BTC approved. So I'm very proud of some of the modifications that we've made to some of the returning pieces, but also just a cousin is what I've been calling them to some of my favorite pieces that we've seen throughout the years. And then also bringing in some newness. There were some things that I wanted to just try and experiment with based on some certain favorite elements that I have of other pieces that BUFFBUNNY collection has come out with. So it was really fun to do a spin-off on that. But yeah, I am just so incredibly proud of how everything came together when it comes to the capsule itself, the marketing campaign, the colors, the naming of things, everything like that. I really feel like we embodied as much as we could of myself and the company together in this beautiful, beautiful capsule. And I hope that you guys feel the love, feel the intention, and just see the Gab Fam elements throughout everything that we created in this capsule. Again, from the designs to the names to the campaign, all the things in between. And I hope you guys really see the Gab Fam come through, because this is an homage to myself and to my community. So that is just a little bit about the locked in capsule, and just again the meaning behind it, the messaging. It's always important for me that these kind of really relay a deeper message rather than just being a collection name. I've always shown appreciation for that through all the other campaign names as well. So I really wanted to just embody that in my own, obviously. But again, if you guys want more on like the actual behind the collaboration, you guys can watch that video that I posted, and I'll link it somewhere here. But with that being said, let's get into the pieces, starting off with the colors. So with the colors, we kept it quite simple. We have 5 main ones, and then we do have white coming in, just the pump cover. We don't have any other white pieces coming out in any of the bras or leggings or jackets or anything like that. So the first color is a brand new one, and this one is called Tell Me Later, as in like tell me later. I definitely find her being like a sister slash cousin to Teresa's Playa, which is so special because obviously she is a Libra sister. So yeah, this Tell Me Later is the one that I'm wearing here. And she's just a beautiful teal. I'm not much of a blue girl and I'm not much of a green girl, so teal I can definitely do. And I just absolutely love the way that she came out. I think she's a perfect transition into spring. I know you guys are just dying for the brights as you get into the spring season, and I promise you I am that transition between winter into spring. So bear with me with just a few more dark colors and just seeing Miami Vice one more time, and then we can get into your guys' brights and everything like that. But Tell Me Later is a new teal that, again, I think is so beautiful and will mix and match with a lot of other colors that we've seen previously. As usual, I feel like Buff Bunny Collection does such a great job of making minor adjustments to some colors that we love, but still making it something new and elevated. So I'm really excited for Tell Me Later to be joining the Buff Bunny Collection color palette. And then we have Miami Vice, which you have seen quite a few times this year. I know she is on repeat, but she truly is an essential color now. I feel like it's just such a perfect pink for so many different people on your pink preferences, but we do have her coming out one more time. I feel like we may have a break from her after this. I'm not 100% sure, but we did have to still have her in here because she goes so well with the leopard print and the vineyard dark red. So we had to keep her in here in the mix. And then speaking of vineyard, we do have her coming back. We haven't seen her in so freaking long, and she is my all-time favorite red color that we have ever seen Buff Bunny Collection do. I've said this so long ago, but when we first saw her back in like, I think 2022, even earlier than that, like we saw her back in like 2020 even, that is when Vineyard just was my ultimate like favorite red. She's just such a perfect jewel tone color, and it was one of my main things that I needed in this whole process when they said, you know, what is your wish list? Vineyard red coming back was one of them, and so I love seeing her come back, and it just looks so good on so many different skin colors, and she's just stunning. Okay, and then we have black, obviously. And then last but not least, we have this brand new leopard print, and it's just called leopard because she is just truly the perfect leopard print that I've seen across all the different companies. And I'm not saying that because it's mine. I'm saying it because we really wanted to do a print, first of all, but we also wanted to do leopard print because I've loved leopard print since I was like 16, okay? Like I've loved her for a very long time. We've seen a lot of different iterations of the leopard print through the many years of Buff Bunny Collection, but we've never seen one quite like this. Number one, I wanted it to be more on the elevated side. So like not feeling like we're 16 again, but still bringing it back because it is definitely trending this year. We've seen a couple companies drop them recently, but like I said, I think we still did it best because doing this smaller scale leopard and then doing it on this truffle color as the base just really makes it feel, again, just like elevated, not too cheesy, not too loud, not too out there. So even if you're not a print girl, I would definitely consider trying this print because it's just not super loud. And it's just, again, elevated is the best way that I can put it. So I'm very proud of how this leopard print came out. We went through various different options and exploring, you know, do we want to do a tone on tone? Do we want to do a red? Do we want to do a pink? And landing on this truffle and black mixture is just so perfect. And I have no doubt that this one is going to do extremely well. Again, I don't know if any of these colors, any of these pieces are ever going to restock. So especially when it's a collaboration, I would highly recommend that you guys jump on it if it's something that you are considering or even even wanting to try. You can always return it if you don't love it. So I would just get your hands on it, because once they're gone, it could be it. So those are all of the colors that you can expect from this collection. And with that being said, let's dive into the bras. For this capsule, we have 4 different bras to choose from. We have 3 in the mobility pillars, so they're all going to be made of NUBRE, and then we have 1 that is made in the airbrush fabric, which is going to be more for your high impact, high support, sweat wicking activities. One of them, unfortunately, will not be ready in time for March 28th, which absolutely hurts my heart, because it was one that I've been so excited to come back, because we have not seen her in a couple years now, and that is the Monarch bra. This has been an all-time BUFFBUNNY collection customer favorite for a very, very long time, and she's been on a bit of a hiatus, okay? She's been modified, she's been worked on, and I'm so proud that she is part of my capsule. I know she's not going to be here on the date, but she's still part of my capsule. We are not doing a pre-order just because we'd rather wait for all of them to be here in the warehouse and then put them up for sale instead of doing the pre-order route, just to keep things simple for you guys as the customers. But if you guys have been waiting for Monarch, this is going to be your time. I unfortunately don't even have a sample to show you guys, like a final sample. I have a few clips of the different samples that we tried throughout my process, but let me tell you, we went down to all the details to make sure that she was BTC approved. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to work for the other cup sizes. I truly feel that we made tweaks accordingly to work for everybody. I know the IBTC will love the original cut of being a deeper plunge, but for the BTC, there had to be some changes made in order for it to work. So number 1, you will notice that the straps do stay on a lot better. And then you'll also notice that we still have the open back, but still tucking in the lats. And so we made a lot of changes to, just the way that these straps and back opening placement was, to really make sure that that worked, especially for my body. So it is modeled a lot off of my, structure, I guess you could say, but I truly do feel like it's going to work for all of the different cup sizes. Again, we do have a little bit more coverage than the very original OG Monarch cut, but we still kept that same silhouette. So that cut is still there. It's just a little bit more coverage. So the BTC girls won't feel like it's too clavage. That was a big thing, is that there's a lot of clavage and there's a lot of side boobs. So that was another thing that you'll notice in all of my bras. And I'll be very, very transparent about this. A lot of my bras come up very high into the side boob / armpit, depending on your breast width diameter, depending on the width of your chest, depends on how high it'll come into your armpits. So this will vary depending on your body. So I want to just really preface that I intentionally emphasize a lot of my bras to come in a lot on the sides here, because side boob is a huge thing for me. And I don't know if that's because of my implants, but I'm pretty sure it's because of my breast width diameter for the most part. I just always get side boob in a lot of the bras that I do love from BUFFBUNNY collection. And it just, I deal with it. But with my capsule, I said, I don't want to deal with it. I want to adjust that. And so far, a lot of the girls have been loving that adjustment, but for some, it's coming a little high. And again, I just want to preface that was intentional to really accommodate the BTC girls, because obviously being president of BTC, I am looking out for my BTC girlies. But like I said, we also wanted to keep in mind everybody else. And I feel like we did a really good job of, yes, highlighting a lot for the BTC girls while still keeping in mind that there are going to be other customers and making sure that it was still flattering for them. So I really, really tried to encapsulate everybody, make everyone happy, and, not make it too heavy on one or the other. And so I hope I did that justice for you guys, because I really wanted this to be a moment for all of us. But obviously at the end of the day too, I needed to make sure it worked for myself. So yeah, just wanted to really preface that especially with collaborations, I think it's important to keep in mind that the collabee, aka myself, will make sure that a lot of these pieces work for their body types, work for them and their issues that they experience. And that's the whole point of a collaboration, right? Is being able to kind of give your 2 cents with the design team to make something that is kind of like your dream product. And so yeah, just wanted to really put that out there. And again, with all BUFFBUNNY collection launches, not all of them are going to be for everybody, and that's totally okay. I want you guys to be happy and confident in any of the purchases that you make, whether it's my collaboration or any other launches throughout the year. But I just really wanted to be transparent with you guys that is very intentional. And so yeah, just wanted to mention that. But again, just so far from the other athletes and affiliates who are various different body types and sizes, they haven't been finding any issues per se with it. I think it all just comes down to personal preference. But having the coverage, having support, and having just like a modified amount of clavage was very important to me as you're designing all these bras. So with the Monarch Sports Bra, you will notice those improvements a lot. We did also keep her the longer line. And again, I truly feel like we still kept the original design of the Monarch with some slight modifications. I know that throughout time, BUFFBUNNY collection really does want to fine-tune the grading in the bras for different cup sizes. So for example, extra small to medium will be a certain grading, and then large and up will be a certain grading, because it's very apparent in a pattern that those who range from extra small to medium love this kind of grading, and then large and up love this kind of grading. So I know that they're really working on finding a way to kind of grade the two a little bit differently, kind of like how we've seen a lot of different like waist, hip, full length tops and jackets. I think they're trying to do the same thing with the bras as much as they can. And again, same thing like with leggings, like doing the different inseams. So they're really trying to like accommodate everybody. And let me tell you, now being behind the scenes of a lot of the design conversations, I have so much appreciation as to the certain limitations that you have. I think that's something that I want to be very transparent to, is that like, and I said this in my behind the collaboration, I hope that, and this isn't coming from like anybody, I think it's more just like my own thing, but like I really hope that I don't disappoint anyone in whatever your expectation may have been from a collection from myself. I know a lot of you guys have been so hyped for me to have a collaboration of some sort, and to be so honest with you guys, this was supposed to only be 2 to 3 different bras, and this evolved into what it is today. And so for that, I am so incredibly grateful, because anyone would kill for a lifetime opportunity like I'm getting today. But I also just want to say that, again, through the process and in collaboration with another company, and especially when you see it from like a business perspective, there's just a lot of things that you have to consider in certain decisions, in certain things that are possible or not possible. And there are some limitations as the collabee, right? Like that's the point, is that we are collaborating with the company, but that doesn't necessarily mean we get full reign and unlimited budget to do all the different things under the sun. And not only that, we also want to make sure that it makes sense for the company to cater to various different bodies and desires and the overall customer. And so there's a lot of things to factor in. And so if this was my unlimited budget, my own company, and I had all the different resources and people in my back pocket that could do all the things under the moon, then there would be a very different kind of product line. But with that, there is, again, just a lot of different hurdles that we also encountered. And so I want you guys to know that if you guys know me, you know that myself, Heidi, and the design team explored all the different avenues that we could with certain things that I wanted to make happen and certain things that couldn't happen. And we found different alternatives and we did what we could. And to give you guys perspective, I was supposed to launch in 2024 fall. So that is why a lot of my colors are also fall, because I was always supposed to be a fall collection. Now, over the year from 2024 to now, I've gotten bumped out a couple more times because a lot of the things that I wanted in my capsule were taking a bit longer, and there were delays because of the samples not coming back right. And so we've already taken a lot of time and care into making sure that these pieces came about in a way that we were proud of and satisfied with. And so if I waited even longer to perfect some of the other things that I wanted to make happen, we would be waiting for a hell of a lot longer, and I couldn't do it anymore, you know? So maybe what this means is that there will be a 2.0. Maybe this means that I will be able to consult more with the design team on bras, especially specifically, and, you know, they'll hopefully take my insight and use me more to, you know, collaborate on certain things. And they have already, you know, like Monarch was number one. There's a couple other bras coming out in the next year or two that I've been, you know, working closely with the design team on. And, you know, I think that is going to be an amazing next step with now doing this collaboration. So yeah, I just wanted to say that if you're thinking I would have thought this or that from GABS, your girl thought about it, okay? Your girl asked for it, and there were certain things that we could make happen, and there are certain things that we just can't. And I'm not upset about it because I understand the why behind it. I understand the limitations that there were, and I understand the other things that aren't in everybody's control either. Like there's a lot of different variables there, right? So yeah, I just want to preface that and just know that I really had to keep in mind, yes, my BTC girls, but also the entire company's customer avatar as well. So yeah, just keep that in mind as you, I don't want to say like critique me, but think about, you know, oh, I wonder if GABS thought about this or wanted to do that, et cetera, et cetera. So I will continue to give all my feedback on all the pieces to come with the BUFFBUNNY collection when it comes especially to the bras and for my BTC girlies. And so they will continue to hear from me on all the things, and they do appreciate it, and they do listen, and they do appreciate that so much. So just know that beyond this capsule, my input on, you know, representing the BTC girls will continue, and we did what we could to make it happen for the pieces in this capsule. So let's get back into the pieces. So Monarch, super excited that she's coming back. She'll be available in all of the 5 colors, including the leopard print. Hell yeah. And I would recommend sizing with your usual NUBRE bra sizing. All of them, I do recommend that, except for when we get to the Twilight. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yes, Twilight's coming out in NUBRE. But the Monarch, I do recommend you guys size the same as you guys have previously for the Monarch bra, or just in general for your NUBRE bras. And I cannot wait for the BTC girls to now love and appreciate this bra just as much as the other cup sizes, because I feel like for a minute, we couldn't the same way that everyone else could. So justice for the BTC girls and the Monarch sports bra. Now, moving on to what I just mentioned, and that is the Twilight NUBRE version bra. I have loved the Twilight bra for a hot minute when we initially saw her in this black sparkly colorway, but I knew some refinement was needed. And then when we started to see her in the Dream Heather, I got even more excited, and I just knew 150% that we needed it in NUBRE, because the way the design is, the coverage, the support, the comfortability, all of it, I said, why don't we have this in NUBRE yet? And so I put it in my capsule because I could. And so I am so excited to present to you the Twilight sports bra, but in NUBRE, and with a first time ever change on the inside, which is a perforated liner. Don't get it twisted. It is not mesh. Lindsay literally had to correct me so many times in meetings. I kept saying mesh, but it's definitely not mesh. It is a perforated liner that gives you the best cooling sensation on your titties that you didn't know you needed. Like, I literally had no idea how incredible that would feel until I tried a lot of my samples on, and I was like, wait a minute, this feels incredible. And so for those who don't know, most of, or all the times actually, when it comes to the NUBRE bras, they're usually double lined with NUBRE. So that gives the NUBRE bras that extra compression and that extra support. I, again, wanted to change some things up, do some things different, do some things for the first time. And so when I had the option to either do the standard way of doing the NUBRE bra or doing something different, I said, let's go with the perforated liner. And I am so glad that we did, because again, I think it's a feature that's awesome. And I hope that we see it actually in more bras to come. Like, you know, not even just NUBRE, but maybe even the airbrush or something like that, because the breathability and the cooling sensation of that, it's like having a cooling blanket. I don't know if you guys have seen those at like Costco and stuff like that, but there are cooling blankets where the fabric is just cooling. Like, it's not like a heated blanket where you have to turn it on or anything, but it's just something to the touch just feels cooling. Let me say it one more time for you. But with that being said, we do lose a touch bit of compression from your typical NUBRE bra because it's not double lined with that NUBRE fabric. So because we lose that compression, it is important to keep in mind that if you are in between sizes, specifically for the Twilight NUBRE sports bra, I would recommend sizing down, just because you do, again, lose that compression. There are inserts still for the cup pads and everything like that. But yeah, if you are in between, I would recommend going with your smaller size for that specific reason. Either way, I do feel like the Twilight bra in NUBRE is just a lot more comfortable in general. Obviously with the Dream Heather, it is a little bit compressive as well. And then again, that original version of it in the like black sparkly, so fucking compressive. So I feel like this NUBRE is like a nice, like comfortable version of it. I find that it doesn't hurt me as soon here. Again, I think that's a trap problem for myself, that I have these issues, but for that bra specifically, I don't feel like I ever get that. So it is overall a lot more comfortable in general. Like for example, you wearing the Revolution sports bra all day long, like eventually it does feel quite tight here, where with the Twilight NUBRE, I do feel like I don't get that as much. And I think it's a mixture of just the design in general, but then also just having that little less of NUBRE fabric to just like lighten that compression ever so slightly. Now, while we lost a little bit of support in doing so, we did not miss on the coverage. Every single bra in this collection really has you covered in coverage, because for me, for most of the activities that I do, for most of my day-to-day, whether it's walking the dogs, running errands, working at my desk in my activewear, I need to be comfortable, and I also need to have the coverage, because most of the time you'll catch me just in a sports bra, if I'm being very honest with you, because you don't really know the difference between me wearing a bra or it's a tank top, to be so honest. And so for me, coverage is a big one, because as long as I'm feeling decently covered, I don't feel very self-conscious about my cleavage or my bigger bust or anything like that. And again, to each their own and their preference on this. But for me, coverage was one thing that I wanted to keep consistent in all of the bras in this capsule. And I truly feel that we absolutely fucking nailed that. So the Twilight sports bra in NUBRE just gives you such a beautiful coverage all throughout, whether it's the cups, the lats, it being a longer line, a lot of longer line bras in this also because that is your girl. But I just feel like the Twilight NUBRE is absolute perfection. And I really do hope that we see more of the Twilight sports bra in various colors. Like, I hope we see it as much as we've seen the Revolution, the Rosa, and just any of the bras that we've seen come back in various ways, or sorry, various colors, because I do feel like she's going to be a staple, especially for those who want a higher coverage bra. Now, I know, again, the IBTC, the MTC don't love all the coverage, but I was looking out for my BTC girls, you know? And I said it when I first saw it in the Dream Heather. It was just all-time new favorite bra that was in a more comfortable fabric, but gave me the coverage. And so now the Twilight NUBRE is absolutely my #1 NUBRE favorite bra. And that's not because it's in my collection, but it's because it is just that girl. Next to Monarch and Revolution. Like, I think those are my favorites. I mean, unless Rosa comes back, but anyways, just wanted to really highlight the Twilight NUBRE for some of the modifications that you'll notice in that one. But I am very, very proud with how she came through, and she will also be coming out in all of the 5 colors. All right, you guys, interrupting the video to do a giveaway to say thank you guys so much for all your love and support, and in celebration of the Locked In capsule in collaboration with myself, all you have to do is follow these steps here on the screen, and I will be choosing 5 lucky winners for this time around, just because it is a special one, of course. So if you guys want to enter to win 5 of the BUFFBUNNY collection gift cards, just follow these instructions, and I'll be sure to announce the winner before the launch day. And then don't forget, if you guys want extra chances to win some gift cards, I do have a giveaway happening over on Instagram as well. So with that being said, let's get back into the video. Next up is the final NUBRE bra, and that is the Twist Fit sports bra that I'm wearing here. You guys know the struggle I have had with all of the different twist bras that we've seen throughout the last 2 years. If it wasn't coverage, if it wasn't the underboob, if it wasn't the keyhole, if it wasn't the clavage, if it wasn't the spillage, if it wasn't the back, there was just always something that I had to say about the twist bras that have come out throughout the years. Now, the closest one that I got to was the twist, I think it's just called twist bra or twisted curve bra, the one that has the molded cups. That is what we modeled this one off of, but I wanted to remove the molded cups, and then I wanted to give it a little keyhole and an elastic at the bottom. And so I truly feel like we now officially have a twist bra that the BTC don't feel like they're too out there, or that they're worried about a nip slip or an underboob coming out. And I really think that we nailed it in finding that happy medium so that the BTC girls could also enjoy a cute twisted bra. But not only that, I feel like a lot of the other cup sizes are also really, really enjoying this twist bra as like a little bit of a push-up bra, because we have so many places of coverage and reinforcement throughout the straps that we decided, the full back in the back, and then with the bottom elastic here with the keyhole. I feel like because we added all those, like, again, I'm gonna call it reinforcements, it allowed for a little bit of a push-up situation going on. And so I know Kara, oh my gosh, she looks so good in it. Like, look at her. She is IBTC queen, and the way that the Twist Fit bra gives her a little bit of an oomph when she sizes down, I love that. Love that for that cup size family. So I really do think that the Twist Fit bra is going to be a favorite for a lot of the different cup sizes, and I'm so excited for that because, like I said, with all of the other twisted versions that we've seen throughout the years, there's always been something wrong for me, and that is why I don't wear them very often. And I really didn't want to feel just like too out there. And I think that with the key, like even down to the keyhole, I wanted it to be very tasteful and not too much under boob. And then I wanted to make sure that we had the twist going on, but like, again, not too much spillage happening and stuff. And so I am very, very happy with how these came out. And again, this side boob is incredible. And we did really, really tuck in everything in the back here so that because there's a lot going on in the front, we made it very modest in the back. And so I am very happy with her. And again, the support is great because of the like thicker straps that we did here and the racer back in the back. Like, you still get that support. It is, yes, more in the like light to medium, but I absolutely love her and I hope you guys do too. I am currently wearing a large in the Twist Fit bra that I'm sitting here in right now, and it is my preferred size for the Twist Fit because even though we did all the things, I vary between a medium and a large for my bras. And I will say, because she's a shorter line one, and then she does have the elastic at the bottom, and because she does have a deeper plunge to it, I do usually like to go up to my larges for these kind of bras just to really give me that extra like comfort, knowing that it's not going to be too much. Because when I do wear the medium, I will say, like, I do get the pushed up effect that I just really don't need, but it still looks great. It still feels great. It's just giving me a little bit more pushed upness that I just don't really need personally. Again, to each their own. Going with the medium gives me more support in general, but I do have to keep in mind my clavage situation. And so large is definitely my preference for this bra specifically. Everything else I do wear a medium. For the most part, I'm like 95% a medium now, other than when something is too high compression, or if it is a deeper plunge bra or has a, shorter line or an elastic at the bottom. And I do a really good job at kind of like highlighting that to you guys whenever I do a medium or a large for my bras and why. So hopefully that's helpful in gauging your size. So overall, I'd say if you want to size down to get one, either more push-up or more compression / support, then you guys can do your smaller size or size down in general. But then I would go with your larger size or regular size if you want to keep things just like more on the comfiness, knowing the elastics there, knowing the deep plunge, and then also knowing that these like the racer back situation, there's these elastics just on the outside here. So just keeping in mind if you don't want that too tight and like digging in, depending on where your body fat composition is, just keep that in mind. So personally for me, for the twist fit bra specifically, I do prefer the large, knowing that I want to feel not self-conscious about my clavage situation, specifically in the like middle line of my clavage. You know what I mean? Like I feel all good with my side boob and all that, and I feel good about my bottom boob under here, but I just want to be a little mindful of right here, which is just something that BTC has to be mindful of in general. And again, I think it comes down to personal preference, but the NUBRE, as always, is stretchy and all that stuff too, so you do have a little bit of a wiggle room there. Something else that I want to note is that on the topic of the Teal Me Later color, I do find that a lot of the pieces in Teal Me Later fit a little bit tighter than all the other colors. Now, we do see this in any other collection that we've seen from BUFFBUNNY collection, and in general when it comes to dyes, is that depending on the way that something has to get dyed, sometimes sizes do fit differently. Even though you get the identical piece, identical size, sometimes it can fit a little bit differently. So I will preface that the Teal Me Later does tend to fit a little bit tighter than all the other colors. So just keep that in mind in your sizing as well. Do I feel like it's significant where I need to change my sizing completely? I personally don't. Some people have found that it's just like a little bit harder to get on, or for example, the Teal Me Later NIRVANA leggings do come a little bit shorter on the rise, and so they do adjust accordingly there based on personal preference. But for me, I kept the same small in my leggings in the Teal Me Later. I could size up in a medium to give me a little bit more like waist coverage. I know right now it's like literally looking so super high rise, but when I stand and you see the try-on clips when you get to the leggings, you'll notice they come just a little bit shorter than the rest. But in general, like the jacket feels a little bit tighter as well. So like just in general, if you are looking at the Teal Me Later color, I would keep that in mind that it might be just a touch more compressive than all the other colors. The least compressive I would say is the Miami Vice, which is very interesting. But again, just kind of depending on the way that things are dyed and just colors in general, we do find that a little bit. So just wanted to make sure I put that out there as you guys are considering which colors you want to get in certain pieces. So that is everything on the NUBRE bras specifically. Now, with that being said, we will get into the final bra in this capsule is the Situation Bra. I am obsessed with the name. I love that a Gab Fam lingo made it into one of the pieces names, because I feel like from a marketing perspective, sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, as much as I'd love clavage, that's not an SEO searched name. Same with, BTC. So having the Situation work into a piece name was so special to me. So I love that. Thank you, team, for making that happen. But the Situation Bra is truly the Situation Bra. Like, she is going to hold you in, lock you down in whatever situation you might find yourself in using this bra. Now, I will say that when it comes to the airbrush material in general, she has been through it, okay? She has been changing up over the last year since we first got introduced to her, and like as we've kind of modified it to be not too compressive, but compressive enough. So some people may find that she is not compressive enough in comparison to, say, especially like Elysium or other performance fabrics. So I think it's going to really depend on your personal preference and stuff like that. And so the Situation Bra specifically, I made to be for my running. That was a big one, is that it needs to check off the box for me running, and I can definitely say that it does for me. I tested quite a few different variations of the Situation Bra, and this is ultimately what we landed on. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face as we talk about bras. I wanted to make sure that yes, it was for my BTC girls, but it also worked for various other cup sizes as well, and various certain features that are better for those and not. And so that's how we landed on this version of the Situation Bra. So one thing is that I wanted a lot more adjustability to this bra, but let me tell you, you. The amount of different hurdles that we ran into when creating this bra, there's so many. And the biggest thing, and I mentioned this in my behind the collaboration video, is that we didn't want this bra to cost you guys $110 to buy it. And that was a big thing that I didn't even think about when I was showing them a lot of inspiration of what I wanted to create. One, a lot of them are Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is a whole ass bra brand in general. And so there were certain things that some manufacturers just aren't very familiar in doing so. And that also runs the risk of, is it going to turn out the way that we want it to? How many back and forths are we going to have to do? How much more time is this going to take? How much more money is this going to take as well? And so while I wanted all these different features in the situation bra specifically, certain ones just weren't doable or would take a lot longer than we had time to do. Because you guys have to think too, with my launch date being set for this March, there was a certain cutoff that we had to just kind of make a decision, right? And that was sometime last year. And so again, with the amount of back and forth it would require to do some of the things, it would just take too long. And I'm not going to share all the things because you never know, they could still happen the next year or two, or maybe later. And so I know that we're going to continue to still explore some of these features and speaking with the design team as we worked through many different versions of the situation bra. Now, with that being said, of course, we do have the hook and eye that at minimum I needed to have that because I knew the Wicked sports bra with the zip front was coming out. And so I knew that wasn't something that I wanted to do. The team and I are working on another bra that is definitely well under works and is doing really, really good. So I'm not going to talk too much about that one. So the hook and eye was the option for my bottom band that I wanted to go ahead with. I did want to put one more like tighter option, but I was just too late in bringing that idea to life. So that's fully my bad. I should have mentioned it way sooner, but I wanted to just do one more because I do find sometimes even on the tightest setting, it's not quite tight enough, especially for those who have a larger bust and then a smaller rib cage. But that is something that, again, I could DIY that maybe, but that's also something that you can kind of offset with different sizing. So that was one thing that I kind of wanted to see, but wasn't able to happen. And then frick guys, the adjustability in the straps, like the little metal bar thing that we see in the candy wrap, that we've seen in some of the other airbrush bras. I've had a lot of issues with that, specifically with the airbrush laser one. I loved the concept of it, but something about the airbrush fabric, I think, just makes that metal thing move a lot as you're like bouncing around and stuff like that. And so every time we try different placement of it or on a different material, it just wasn't working, or like another issue would come up. And so I kind of had to scrap that idea with the straps, but what we did instead was make it a very simple kind of crisscross back with the mesh and then with a little bit of a open back concept. And by making it the way that it is, really allowed for it to feel just right, even without the adjustability feature in the strap specifically, but also still feel comfortable and not like too restricted while still tucking in the lats as well. So I'm really, really happy with how we finalized this, because let me tell you, there was so many different versions of like how far out, how far in, how many straps we did. And we just really wanted to keep it a little simple as well. Just keeping in mind, if you wear this under a long sleeve or a jacket or something like that, you don't want too much bulk. Something else that I wanted to keep in mind is I didn't want to make it too like tactic-like. I feel that I loved the Luxe Lift sports bra, but some people found it was just too much going on between the zipper, between all the different vents of mesh, and between all the different like layers and stuff like that. It was just too much of a bra for a lot of people. For me personally, no, I love all the things. But again, keeping in mind the masses, we wanted to still have a lot of the ventilation with the mesh accents and features. And so we did do that kind of like along the outside here, and then we did it through the straps as well and in the back. So that I'm glad that we were able to still incorporate. But again, we wanted to make sure that this wasn't too much of a like crazy situation bra, you know what I mean? Like I could definitely do like a super loaded situation bra, no doubt. But we wanted to kind of keep it a happy medium. And so I do feel like, one, the coverage we did an amazing with. It being the airbrush fabric definitely keeps you locked in. And then overall, it just is a great bra for any performance like activities. So I personally did a sweat test with it, running test, jumping, all the things, my Pilates, all the stuff. And I felt really, really good in it. I think that, again, we could have absolutely taken a step further and make it even more high support. And I do think that you will feel a difference depending on if you're comparing it to Elysium or, you know, previous airbrushes. Like it's going to feel a little different there. So just keep that in mind too, that as the airbrush fabric has been through some of its refinement, the compression is maybe not as high as it was when I first did a sample of it, or as we've previously seen the airbrush. But I don't think that means that it took away from its like high support, because I definitely feel the high support, the high coverage in this bra without it feeling too much. And I think that is exactly what the most of BUFFBUNNY collection customers are looking for, is to have that high support without it looking too crazy, but also not feeling too locked in either or too high coverage. And so yeah, I feel like we found a really great happy medium there. So I'm really proud of the Situation bra, and I think she is going to be one that a lot of people do love. And it looks so freaking good with the Aspire leggings. Like the mesh with the airbrush, just so good. We haven't seen like a combo like that since I want to say the Storm pieces. I could be very wrong, but I feel like since Storm, we haven't really seen that combination. So yeah, who knows if the Situation bra will continue to come back in various ways or come back in general, but really excited for you guys to try it. I'm very proud of this bra, and I think it's such a great bra that I will reach for a lot when I want that coverage and support and that sweat wicking. And it is honestly also very comfortable to still wear, like even when you're like going on about your day. Usually what I do with those bras is once I'm done using it for like its actual performance, and if I can't change for whatever reason, I just loosen the hook to like the looser one to like give me just a little bit more breathing room. For this one specifically, if I do a medium, I go on like the second loosest setting. If I go with a large, I go on the absolute tightest. The only thing is going with the large, I'm noticing in a lot of my bras now, I get a lot of like the fabric gaping here. So that's how I know with like, for example, this twist fit one, I'm okay because I'm not getting a lot of that like fabric bunching or gaping happening here where like you can kind of see like the folds. I do get that a little bit in the Situation bra in a large, and because we don't have the adjustability in the straps, I can't offset that. And so for me personally, I'd rather go with the medium and then go on like, you know, if I can go in the tightest or the second tightest, then I'll just do that, and then I'll just loosen it later on if I want it to just be more comfortable as I'm like going in between, you know, changing or whatever. So just keep that in mind when it comes to your sizing. It does also come with the extender, as all of the bras with a hook and eye always do. So you guys will have that when it comes to just kind of modifying at least the bottom band. So yeah, I hope you guys love this Situation bra as much as I've loved putting so much time and effort into perfecting it as much as I possibly could, and putting all the different features that I felt was important for a performance like bra. And I just can't wait to hear what you guys think, because yeah, I don't know, I feel locked in it. I feel like, again, if I can run in it, that is a big check mark for me, and it is going to definitely be a bra that I reach out for a lot. And we also wanted to keep like the more sweetheart neckline, very similar to the Twilight, so that it wasn't like a high neck bra either, because I know not everyone loves that either. So I do feel like she's just such a great performance like bra that checks a lot of the boxes, and I hope to see some refinement to her. I hope to see maybe some cousins to her with some different features, but she is a bra that I am just so happy with where we landed with it. This one is a longer line one, of course, and she's also coming out in just two colors. We have the black and Vineyard. We did not do Miami Vice, Simulator, or the leopard print in anything in the airbrush fabric. So anything in the airbrush fabric, which is only two pieces, will only be coming out in black and Vineyard red. All right, now moving on to the leggings. We have two different pairs of leggings in this capsule, and that is going to be the Nirvana leggings, which are our NUBRE leggings. That's going to give you a matchy moment with any of the NUBRE bras. And then we do have the Aspire legging, which goes with the Situation bra. Let's start with the Aspire, because the Aspire leggings were the first piece that we actually finalized in this whole process. And the way that we had to go through so many different, very minor like measurement adjustments to perfect this side glute detailing on both leggings is so funny, because I just did not realize how much like a 1/4 inch can make a difference, or even like a little bit, like I don't even know what other different, but like very small little nudges in the way that it curved, in the placement of where it was, how different it made the effect look. And so for me, I've always loved a risque moment. I've always loved the cheeky, the queen bee leggings, anything that had the side like cutouts. I've always loved that. The Storm leggings. I love when we have a little bit of a risque moment. And so I knew immediately that I had to have that in my capsule. And so that's kind of where we kind of modeled the Situation bra, you know, mesh and everything was based off of this legging. So the Aspire legging is the perfect mesh placement on an airbrush legging. And I feel like it also is one of those where that's where this whole glute side detail came in, because I feel like over the years with all the pieces with like the whole glute contouring, the under butt thing and all that, it has been very hard to nail that perfectly depending on the kind of glutes that you have. So long glutes, short glutes, your butt crack, all the different things. There's been so many different conversations around this on like how we find the right placement of the under glute thing. And so I didn't want to have that issue with mine, but I still wanted something to emphasize the glutes. And so doing this side glute situation was the solution that I presented to the team. And this kind of stemmed from also the silhouette shorts, where we kind of saw a little bit of that. And so with taking my inspiration of the cheeky, the queen bee, the storm, and then the, whole glute contouring situation and the silhouette shorts, this is kind of where we landed on. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So we have the mesh coming in more so in the front, and then it curves to the side here, and it's completely see-through. But with that, it is also double lined. So there is a little bit of a barrier there, and it is tonal. That was another thing that I loved, was just the tonal mesh on the legging fabric. So the mesh starts in the back, and then it kind of comes into the front. So you'll see that it starts in the back here, and then it just kind of swoops over once you have it on into the side glute. So this is what it looks like from the side. It looks a lot better when you have it on, and it makes more sense. But yeah, so the mesh is in the back, nothing in the front. We kept the front very, very simple. And then we kept the back pretty simple and really just highlighted the mesh being the star of the show. The other star of the show is a full top seam. We have not seen this in a long time, and I used to not love it. But honestly, as I've gotten into running, as I've gotten into like the reformer Pilates, I appreciate a top seam in those specific scenarios. So I think that's the one thing that I've just learned, is that there's certain things that I do love and appreciate depending on how I'm using my pieces. And that's something that I try to emphasize with you guys too, is that I think if you'll like a piece depends on how you're going to use it and its intention that you're going to be using it specifically. There's one way that it's intended for based on the pillars that we have at BUFFBUNNY Collection, but there's also how do you intend to use it in general, right? And so for me, the top seam was great to really just keep it in place for my running when I'm doing all the different movements from a reformer Pilates, and then also when I'm like going on some hikes or long walks or anything like that, and I don't want to have to fuss with anything at all. So we haven't had a full top seam in a hot minute, and I will say that it's a little bit of work to get the leggings on. You may hear some seams, pop a little bit here and there, but that's kind of the expectation with airbrush in general and a top seam. But I promise you, it does not alter the piece or anything like that or ruin anything, but you may feel that. Give it some patience, give it a little shimmy, give it some time to get over the glutes and everything like that. And I promise you, once it's on, it's on. Now, with that being said, as always, the top seam, I do get a little bit of a muffin top, but I'm totally okay with that because again, I'm mostly focused on the functionality of the top seam than I am of the aesthetics of it. And because both of my leggings are more on like the high rise side of things, I also feel like that kind of gets offset based on wherever it's sitting on my waist. So just wanted to note all of that again, I did think about all these things based on the things that I always say in my videos. And this is kind of where we landed with a lot of the stuff. And so I will say that if you don't love going commando, you might not love these leggings for that reason. However, I know that a few girls have gotten away just fine with wearing the nude underneath. When we were doing photos and everything with that, I was wearing a nude one and you couldn't tell, especially with the black. You couldn't even wear a black one and it kind of looks like it's part of the legging. So I'd say if you wear nude or black, with the black leggings specifically, you'll be okay. But just keep in mind that you will see your underwear just because of the way that the mesh placement is. But I've always just loved it so, so much. And again, I'm just really happy with how the side glute detailing came in. So you definitely won't see it very much from the back. And that's intentional. I didn't want it to be an issue with wherever your glutes kind of like land in the backside. But on the side glute detailing, I feel like it's a little bit easier to like finesse and like be versatile depending on your like glute length and everything like that. So, so far, seeing it on all the other athletes and affiliates, it has looked so good on so many different body sizes. And I am so, so happy about that because it's just like a cute little accent, a little cute little, emphasis to the glutes, the female silhouette. And so without it being like too much, like say the Miracle or like how the Cheeky and Queen Bee came all the way under, right? Like it's not something that you have to be too, even in like other seamless leggings that we've seen with the underbutt, you don't have to be too particular with where you place it because I do feel like even if it doesn't land perfectly on the side of your glute, like it still gives you that little bit of an So very, very happy with the Aspire leggings. And I just think she's such a perfect nod to all of the past leggings that I've loved and what I wanted to kind of combine all that inspiration into to create my Aspire leggings. Now moving on to the last leggings in this capsule, that is the NIRVANA NUBRE leggings. And same thing, I really wanted to keep the side glute situation. We haven't really seen her very much and I really wanted to just lean into it. And so we just kept it going with the NUBRE. And so especially if you're not going to be into the full-on mesh cutouts or the airbrush fabric, we do have, again, that side glute detailing, but in the NUBRE pieces instead. So with this one, we kind of did a cousin to the Legacy and the Contour just to kind of add to the NUBRE legging styles. And so we do have the seams in the front here that's right in the like front of your midsection, which kind of does what the contour leggings do with the seams there, but obviously they're a little bit different as well. So I really love the flat seams that we did and like the two lines. We've gone through so many variations of these too. We initially had them like super spaced out. We had like more. We kind of had to play around with what was not too much, but is also flattering and actually contouring to the body. And so where we landed is just these two that go on the side here. And then again, it comes in to do the side glutes. And same thing, we really wanted it to just hit just to the side, not come back to the back. And so really, really cute, like kind of subtle little contouring going on, especially because the thread is obviously the same color as the leggings. But then I also didn't want any side seams either, just like we see with the Rosa, with the Legacy. And so we don't have any side seams on these either. And like same thing with the Aspire leggings, we have no side seams at all. I didn't want any seams at the bottom. Like I really wanted to keep it just simple, nice little V-back, all that, because you have just so much going on and I wanted to focus the mesh and the contouring the most. So yeah, with the Nirvana, we did the same thing. No side seams at all, nothing at the ankles or calves or anything. Really just kept the focus on the seams up top. And I'm really, really happy with those. I think it is a great way to kind of just give the body a little bit of contouring without being too much and too out there and without taking any comfortability away with all the seams and stuff. So I do love all the flat seam detailing that we did because I think it makes it very, very comfortable overall to be wearing. And then again, just keeping the glute very like just your regular, nice, flattering V situation. And then same with the front with a slight dip in the V. So just, you know, keeping things simple, but still a little extra. You know what I mean? And again, I did find that the telemulator came a little bit shorter, so I do find it rolls a little bit more than some of the other colors. But if I just shimmy and as I kind of sit in it for a little bit longer, I'm able to adjust the fabric accordingly. But just keep that in mind if you guys do get the telemulator in any other colors that they may feel slightly different. And the only other one that we didn't do like the tonal stitching is the leopard. The leopard obviously has the black stitching, just like the bras, just like the jackets. So yeah, that is the Nirvana legging we made. I also loved the Legacy like butterfly detailing that we've always known and loved with the Legacies, but I didn't want to do quite the same thing. So that's kind of where like the idea of merging like the Legacy and the like contour flat lace stitching and just like the double situation. Like the reason why there's two is because I kind of wanted to, like I said, embody the butterfly in some sort of way. So yeah, just a lot of inspirations from, again, my favorites, but making it my own. And so that's how we landed on that. And so that is the Nirvana NUBRE legging. All right, now let's get into the tops of this collection, and we will start with my favorite, the Rosa jacket. Again, when it came to my top desires in this capsule, the Rosa jacket coming back was a must-have. I needed her to come back because we literally have, one, rarely seen a NUBRE jacket come back since her. Number two, just haven't seen her come back in general. And she was one of my favorite jackets. I still have the original one in the Vineyard Red. And so that was one of the pieces that I needed to come back as well. And so I'm so glad that she's back, slightly updated, more like in style with this year, because that was literally 2022 and in our NUBRE fabric still. And this time in two different lengths too. So we have the waist and the hip. And I'm just so glad that we have her in all of the 5 colors as well, because in the leopard, especially guys, this leopard is just insane. Like I am a full leopard moment. Like I will wear all things leopard because this leopard is just absolute perfection. But I'm so happy that we were able to bring the leopard in all of the pieces because it just looks so good. But also the Miami Vice and the telemulator, I know they seem like 2 random pops of color, but they also just work. You know what I mean? Again, because I'm March, I am kind of like a transitional collection where you're going from winter into spring. And so having the telemulator and the Miami Vice really helped bring that kind of pop of color that we all need as we get into a lot more brights to come. I can say that, while still keeping, again, the kind of neutrals, I guess you could say. And like I feel like Vineyard and Leopard is going to be a year-round color. Okay. Like for me personally, at least. And so, yeah, anyways, going back to the Rosa jacket, I am so glad that she's back. She is the perfect NUBRE jacket that we all need to just throw over. Very much like the Phantom. She is just one of those go-to jackets that just pair with absolutely everything. And I love that we now have a NUBRE jacket, just like the Phantom, because I know the Phantom has been a go-to for me, especially. But like, again, there's certain times where I'm not wearing a similar fabric and it looks off. And I'm such a snob in my matchy-matchy moments. So having the NUBRE is absolutely incredible. I will put the difference or similarities in the Phantom Phantom jackets to the Rosa jackets, because I feel like that's going to be the one that most people will compare to, especially because you've seen the Phantom jackets a lot recently. We first saw them in Vita, and then obviously you've been seeing them a lot in the Essentials drops. So I will make sure that I put some comparisons up there. For the most part, they're about the exact same when it comes to the length of them, when it comes to the waist or the hip. So I would just go ahead with whatever you preferred in the Phantom. I personally love everything waist just because of my short torso and everything like that. So I personally like to go waist. When it comes to the tightness of it, they're both equally, like when I say both, I mean Phantom and Rosa, they're both equally the same amount of tightness, but it just feels different, if that makes sense, because one is NUBRE and then one is that performance fabric. So when you kind of have that on your skin, it feels just like a little bit different in regards to like what that compression does for you. Personally, for me, I was able to even squeeze into a fucking extra small Rosa jacket because that's all they had when I was down there shooting, and I was able to squeeze into it. Okay, now was it a squeeze? It definitely was a squeeze. And was it like tight? It definitely was tight. But I think it just depends on your personal preference. Something else that I was kind of playing around with as I squeezed into an extra small was like the tighter size that I did allowed for like less bunching going on in the sleeves, just because again, I'm just short altogether. And so that was kind of nice to not have so much excess fabric there, but it was definitely like a little tight on the boobs, but like it wasn't compressive where it squished me in, you know what I mean? Like I was able to wear it very comfortably all day long, or like at least for like an hour or two, right? So I think that size the way that you would for the Phantom jackets, and just keep in mind that obviously if you go tighter, like where you're gonna see it the most is like in your arms or in the back, depending on like how broad you are. But if I can squeeze my 36 double Ds into an extra small, there's definitely all the stretch that you might need in the NUBRE, and it's just gonna come down to your personal preference. So for me personally, I've been really enjoying the smalls in my Phantom and Rosa jacket, only because again, for me, I don't mind it being quite tight given the way that the jacket is, like the style of it. If that means I have less fabric in my arms and I'm not having to have so much bunching, and then like not so much bunching in the shoulders and stuff. So that's again, my personal preference. I may be more of a true medium when it comes to like my cups and everything like that, and like based on like the sizing chart, but I personally like the small. I will say that a lot of the other athletes and affiliates were unfortunately not able to get the Rosa jacket for PR. So I am going to show you guys some of the extra smalls just so I can show you guys the jackets like in general. And I will note that. But again, my preferred size is personally a small. My truest size, if you want to be like a little less tight, would be a medium, as that's typically what I've been across the board for a lot of shirts and tops in general and stuff. And like even the halos, for example, like I'm a medium in those. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of describe that for you guys, but I am so happy with how they turned out. I'm so glad that they're back, and I'm so glad that we finally have a nice like BBL go-to NUBRE jacket that's not necessarily, again, a performance fabric. And I hope that you guys are excited to add them, even if you just get like the black. Like the versatility in that is so awesome. Like I've been wearing my black one over and over and over again until I got more of my colors, and it's just such a good, like I said, grab and go jacket, especially as we get into the spring. Like, you know, it's just nice to kind of like throw on and just again have it match with all of your other NUBRE pieces that you might mix and match it with. Now going on to the halo tops, I love that she also made it, and I love that we were able to do the leopard print in the halo tops. Doing prints in the halos is not something that we've seen a lot yet. We saw it in the camo, and now we're seeing it in the leopard print, and it just looks so freaking good, like an absolute yes needed. I've seen a couple girls wearing it kind of like a bolero style. One thing that I will note is that I found that with the leopard halo, it was a little bit tighter, and it also felt a little bit different. Like the halo has a very distinct, like light, airy, stretchy, like silky touch feel to it. The leopard, we do lose it a little bit because I want to say because of the print. So if you do feel the two different ones and you're like, oh, this feels a little different, it is in fact feeling that way for myself too. But I still freaking love her. She's still comfortable as well, and she still has the like halo feel to it. It's just not quite exactly like all the like plain colors. So just keep that in mind if you guys are comparing that to some of your older ones. Now, do I feel that it fits a little tighter where I have to size differently? No, I still kept with my usual medium, and I did in fact end up trying the hip length in my halos because I do like to tuck them into my sweatpants a lot, and I do like the hip length if you do that as well. So if you've been getting the baby length a lot and you're like me who likes to tuck it into their sweatpants and stuff like that, and you're finding that it's just kind of like creeping out of the waistband a lot, try the hip and it does work a lot better. I do get a little bit of extra fabric when I don't have it tucked in, but I do love the way that it pairs with my sweatpants. So that's definitely going to be something that I do now, is like mix in the baby lengths and the hip lengths. So yeah, I am obsessed in all of the halo tops. Correction, we don't have it coming out in the Teal Me Later, but we do have it in the black, the Vineyard, Miami Vice, and the leopard print. So there are the 2 different lengths of the halo long sleeves, and that's the main note that I wanted to make when it comes to sizing. L size, again, I've just kept my usual medium all the way through, and I've been really happy with my medium. And surprisingly, I was wearing a white bra under the leopard print, and even though it was white, it didn't show through weird or anything like that. I would recommend more of a black or like a brown bra underneath it, just so that it like blends a little bit more, since like the halo fabric in general is a bit more sheer, especially when it gets stretched out. But overall, really, really glad with the leopard print being able to be a halo, like I said, and I just think she's just a great staple. I mean, I've loved her for a very long time, so having her in my capsule made a lot of sense for just another option of like a cover up situation to go over any of the bras. And honestly, something else that I've realized is that with a lot of the bras that I have in my capsule, it works really well underneath pieces. The only one that might be a little wonky is the twist fit, just because the knot might like show through because everything is so form fitting. But for the most part, I think we did a really good job at making sure the bras worked really well as like a flat, simple bra under form fitting things that you may throw over these bras as well. Last but not least, we have my pump cover, which is my long sleeve stronger shirt. And I'm proud of all my babies in this capsule, but I'm very proud of this one because my last wish and desire that had to happen was making sure that we did puff print on my graphic tee. Of course, every collection gets a graphic tee. And for mine, I knew I wanted to do a long sleeve and I knew I wanted to do a puff print. And the puff print turned out so good. I have seen the puff print in a few different lifestyle brands and stuff like that. And I immediately wanted to try it with BUFFBUNNY collection. They did do it with the Unbreakable gray long sleeve, but I don't feel like it looks as good as the stronger ones turned out. I don't know if it's because of the bubbly text or anything like that, but the puff print turned out incredible on my pump covers. And the way that we staggered the stronger to be like, 2 letters, then a one letter looks really good as a chest crest. And then just the way that the tone on tone of the Miami Vice turned out, the black on white, and then the pink on the Vineyard, like it just turned out so incredibly well. I mentioned this in my behind the collaboration video, but I did want to do like a crew neck or a hoodie with the puff print, but I was limited to doing just a pump cover t-shirt or long sleeve, and this was what I landed on. But imagine how freaking cute this would look as a hoodie or crew neck, like so good with the puff print. So I hope they run with the puff print, do it again on a hoodie or crew neck, because I think it just turns out so good. And they wash and hold up really well as well. I've washed my sample quite a few times and it's been fine. So you guys will be totally all good. Something that I will note that I've been noticing a lot with like my Miami Vice and my reds is to wash them on their own first few times, just in case there is a little bit of bleeding. I noticed when we did the Galentine's event and I was wearing the Miami Vice and sweating a shit ton, and I wore that straight out of the package. It did bleed onto my shoes and my white crush socks, but it did wash out fine. But just something to keep in mind that I would highly recommend that you wash all of your Miami Vice on its own and the Vineyard Red on its own before you mix it in with other colors, just for your first few washes at least. But my pump cover, I love her so much, and this will be the piece that a lot of the males in my life will be ordering to support me because it's literally the only thing that they can wear. But it is so comfy, such great quality of a pump cover shirt. I feel like they've really nailed their pump cover material, that cotton like. It's nothing super special, it's just their usual pump cover material, which is cotton. But as you guys know, it's not like a scratchy cotton, it's like a very nice quality one. So if you guys are looking for some long sleeves to add to your collection, then you guys will love these stronger pump covers. Personally for me, I love my oversize, and so I went with large and even extra large in my pump covers, and I just absolutely love the way that they turned out. You can still see the back really nicely, you can see the chest crest obviously, and in the teaser video, the campaign video, I am wearing a large in that as well, and it was a perfect like sleepy time shirt too. So I'm just really happy with how the puff print turned out because it's just so freaking sick. That is my entire capsule. She's small and mighty, but like I said, this was all stemmed from a simple text message that said, hey, let's do like 2 to 3 bras. And it turned into 10 freaking pieces, you guys, and 5 different colorways and so many incredible, versatile different pieces for so many different occasions, so many different walks of life, so many different ways that you might use it in your day-to-day, in your fitness, in your work, whatever that might be. And I am just so incredibly proud of what myself and the design team came up with when it comes to the pieces. Thank you, design team, for all of your patience and hearing me out. Heidi, thank you for all of your input and collaboration and just doing a collaboration with me. Like, hello. Again, if you guys want to hear more in the story on like how this kind of happened, that will be all in my behind the collaboration video that is out now that you guys can watch, see some screenshots, see some videos and all the good things of like what has been going on behind the scenes in the last 3 years. Thank you again to you guys. Without you guys, this capsule would not be a thing. I hope that someday there's a 2.0. I hope that again, I get to even at least just continue to consult with the team because it's just been so fun learning, giving insight, giving feedback, and just collaborating on all the different ideas and just like knowing what's possible out there and just like how we're constantly trying to be innovative. You know, I think that's the coolest thing about this company is that we're always thinking of those things. And I just really appreciate all the learning curves and the things that I've been a part of in this whole process. And it's so sad that it's time, but it's also very exciting at the same time because you guys get to finally get your hands on them. And I cannot freaking wait to see you guys wearing everything. If you guys do order anything from this capsule, please tag me as you wear it, as you place an order, just all the things. Like if there is one collection to blow me up on, it is this one because this is locked in with Gabrielle Guerrero and BUFFBUNNY collection. Okay, so just blow me the fuck up. Huge thank you to my brother because he is behind this camera for hours on end in every single collection. And so without him, we would have not been able to do all of these videos at all. And I would not be doing reviews in general if I did not do these videos. So huge thank you to him for all of his patience and just bringing these videos to life because your girl could not do all this video editing herself and the setup and all the things. And so big shout out to him on being my production team of one. And then thank you to Bambi, all the years of helping me with the PDF. She's no longer helping me with the PDF, but I know she likes to stay behind the scenes, but she was the originator of, you know, making these PDFs. So huge shout out to her. And I hope that the PDFs continue to be satisfactory for you, even though you're not doing them anymore. But yeah, thanks to her is why we even have the PDFs in general, you guys, is because of Bambi. So just wanted to give her a shout out because through the years of doing this PDF, it's a lot. It's a lot to do the photos. It's a lot to do all the copy and everything like that. And then a huge thank you to my husband, my family, my friends, because without their support and me being a content creator on the side amongst all the other things that I do, yeah, it just wouldn't have been possible. So just my village of people, my team, my sister agency team, they are very understanding of me when I'm filming and when it's BUFFBUNNY week and all the things. And so they've been incredible. And just, again, I feel like I'm doing like an Oscars speech right now, but seriously, BUFFBUNNY collection, every single person in that company, you guys are incredible at, you know, the PDFs that you guys designed, the sticker. Oh my God, the sticker. I don't even have the sticker, but the sticker is the leopard print and it's so freaking good. There was no question at all that we were going to do the leopard print as a sticker. Here were the different options and immediately I was like, leopard print, duh. But just huge thank you to the social team, to the marketing team, to everyone who's part of my marketing campaign. Athlete manager Mary, big shout out to Mary because she has been dealing with my ass. Julie and just everybody else, Gabby with social content, Emily, everybody, just like, so I can't list everybody because I'm going to forget people, but even everyone that is helping with the website, just the entire BUFFBUNNY collection staff, thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing up until launch day and even afterwards when it comes to customer service for just everything with this capsule because again, this capsule would not have been possible without the entire village behind it in all the different ways, big or small, that contributed to making this happen for you guys and for me, obviously at the end of the day. So just huge, huge thank you. And I cannot believe the locked in capsule collaboration of Gabrielle Guerrero x BUFFBUNNY collection is officially going to be here on March 28th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget to use the code GABS at checkout if you guys want to get 10% off. And if you guys want to show direct support to me for my collab, I won't be mad if you guys use anyone else's, but this one will be extra special if you guys choose to use my code. It means a lot to me and everyone that is behind this. Again, my production team, myself, my family, and all the things. And just, I can't say it enough, but thank you guys for making this happen because it is truly, truly a dream come true to even have this part of my milestones, part of my memories. Now going forward, I am buying every single piece, every backup piece because I just genuinely don't know when or if we'll see any of these pieces again once they sell out. And yeah, I just hope you guys, again, feel the love, are excited. I can't wait to see you guys rock all of the locked in pieces. And I'm just so pumped please spam the shit out of me. And don't forget to enter any of the giveaways happening on Instagram, as well as the one that we had here. I will be choosing a winner before the launches. And just if you guys have any questions at all, please send me a DM on Instagram or join my Discord, because I will be the best person to go to if you guys have any questions, because I literally helped design all these pieces and making the decisions that had to happen for certain reasons to be or not be. So if you guys need any clarity on anything, please let me know and I'm happy to do that. And if you guys want to see more on like the collaboration and some of my secret trips, specifically the last one that I did early in February, I do have a vlog. That is something that we want to bring back to this channel, is more vlogs, more other sit down videos, more just videos in general. But we did do a Houston vlog, so you guys can check that out coming up in the next coming days. So stay tuned for that, for more behind the scenes. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.